There's a huge surge in elixirs in the fragrance world. Let's look at some of my favorites or best elixirs available so you can keep your eye out for them the next time you are looking for a new fragrance. The other day someone asked me, what does it mean EDT, EDP, and how does it relate to the elixirs? Well, the progression sort of sounds like this. It starts with splash, then it goes to cologne, then it goes eau de toilette, eau de parfum, parfum, extrait de parfum, and lately we have the elixir, which is the newest one. Of course, you hear elixir, you think it's a deep, dark, sort of mysterious kind of concoction. Well, actually, it usually is a parfum concentration. Now, I won't get too deep into this right now since we are primarily talking elixirs, but I do think it is worth mentioning that the concentrations sometimes overlap between one another. Also, in some fragrances, they can be completely different than what you would expect from a concentration boost, let's say. Often notes become more pronounced because of the concentration. Sometimes notes are even omitted or added to enhance the fragrance to its new concentration. This is, of course, absolutely up to the perfumer's discretion. Sometimes the fragrance is completely unrecognizable from its former concentration, as you will discover from our first elixir, which is Gucci Guilty Elixir de Parfum. This one was released in 2023 and has absolutely nothing in common with the former Gucci Guilty fragrances, no matter which one you compare it to, whether you compare it to the Absolute or whether you compare it to the original Parfum from Gucci Guilty, smells nothing like it, or the Gucci Guilty Oud, nothing alike with it. No matter which one you compare it to. The Gucci Guilty Elixir could have been its own line if you ask me. Coming in at over $150 US for a mere 2 ounces. This guilty pleasure does pack a punch. After you empty your pockets, of course, that is. And thank goodness you don't need a lot of sprays. 2 to 3 sprays usually is all I use on this one. This green elixir is a spicy vanilla with the notes of orange blossom and some osmanthus, created by Natalie Gracciacetto and Quentin Biche. Elixir de Parfum has really good sillage and will last for hours with just a few sprays. Like you will be able to detect this one days after you sprayed it on your clothes. But I'm not going to dive too deep into this elixir. If you would like to know more, I will leave the full review of this one up here somewhere, and I will leave it down in the description box below. You can come back to it later if you'd like. As for now, this one right here is one of my favorite releases so far this year. And if you are wondering, no, I do not mind that the Gucci Guilty Elixir de Parfum no longer has the Gucci Guilty scent profile. Don't get me wrong, I enjoy the Gucci Guilty line, especially the 3 that I showed you. But I'm ready to change. Let me know what you think on this subject in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. I could go on by saying the next one is also one of my favorite releases this year, and I would absolutely not be joking. I'm actually fond of all the elixirs in this list. They are all really nice. The next one is going to be Ralph Lauren's Elixir. It is called Ralph's Club Elixir. Was also released in 2023, and this elixir is a fresh and spicy aromatic with the notes of orris root, which give it an earthy, almost woody feel with a touch of iris. It's a beautiful fragrance. In addition, here you're going to have some frankincense and some leather notes. It's a little bit fresher than the Gucci Guilty one, not quite as powdery and sweet. This elixir turns quite smoky on my skin, and it reminds me a little bit of Giacomo di Giacomo from the 80s. This one right here. But only on the initial smell of the cap. So don't get me wrong, they actually don't smell alike. Only the smoke is what reminds me. But only the initial smell of the cap. They actually don't smell anything alike. And since Giacomo smells like an 80s powerhouse male fragrance, for those of you who remember, it is only the smokiness that will remind you of the new Ralph Lauren elixir. Ralph's Club Elixir is not by any means dated. Instead, it's a big step up from the other club fragrances. Dominique Ropion created this stellar fragrance that is stylish, and it is classy, and it is not overly sweet. It's a really nicely done elixir with good longevity and protection. Just don't go out getting this one and think it is similar to like the Dior Homme Intense fragrances. It is not. It is, however, the best one in the Ralph's Club line, in my opinion. Next, we will have another Quentin Biche creation Quentin Bish is really on a roll, turning out stellar fragrances one after another. Like which ones do you ask? Well, here are a few you might know. We have Terrible Teddy by Penhaligon's. There is 1 Million Royal and the PARFUM from Paco Rabanne. We have Mugler's Amen Ultra Cest. Actually, I still wish I had a bottle of that one. There's also Ganymede by Marc-Antoine Barras. Wanted by Night by Azzaro, Bad Boy Extreme, Carolina Herrera, and a few from Jean-Paul Gaultier, like Scandal Pour Homme and the new Le Male Elixir. Yes, this 2023 Le Male Elixir was created by Quentin Bish. See what I mean? The guy is on fire. He's really on a roll. Le Male Elixir is a phenomenal fragrance and a great addition to the Le Male lineup. This elixir comes in a great looking bottle. I mean, check this out. Absolutely beautiful. It's also an update to the pulley. Let's give this one a spray actually. Smells really, really wonderful. Someone said that this bottle looks like something from the age of the pyramids. And I have to agree. It really does. I bet they would have loved this juice back in those days, filled with lavender, vanilla, and honey, with the original Le Male scent profile sitting sort of in the back seat. Plenty of sweetness and longevity without ever being too much. And of course, you can still wear this one out. It is a Jean-Paul Gaultier Le Male, after all. Also, we have an elixir from Hugo Boss. This Boss bottled elixir, also released in 2023, is such a good fragrance. While the Le Male elixir is more for the night out, this Boss bottled elixir can be worn anytime. Slightly more classy, or quite a bit more classy actually, and a bit more mature. The notes of frankincense, cardamom, lapdanum, and there's also some patchouli in this one. This elixir fits right in with the other elixirs. Really good longevity and protection. I'll give this one a spray too. Completely different once again than you would expect. Online, the comparisons to this amazing elixir have been Sauvage Elixir, which I'm not really on board with that one. Also, the comparison has been made with Issey Miyake or Incense. Also, for me, not really. However, I do agree with the Boss bottled elixir having a little bit of a throwback vibe. Let's give it another one. Just a tad, which I actually really like. This is a fantastic dark chocolate patchouli Tootsie Roll release, per my daughter's evaluation. This elixir is for someone who doesn't like too much sweetness, but who wants to smell mature and approachable, interesting and unique, in a Boss kind of way. And of course, right here, we could also talk about Sauvage Elixir here. But you know what? Nah. It came out in 2021, and I'm sure you already know about this powerhouse fragrance with a note of licorice. Sauvage Elixir is definitely worth a look, if you haven't yet. So far, I'm pleased with all the elixirs. Really, truly, I enjoyed every single one of these. I'm sure we will have more elixirs to come before this elixir surge is over. Now, before I leave you, please don't forget to like and subscribe if you got anything out of this at all. I'd love to have you on board. Until next time, please do take good care of yourself. Always smell nice, and I will talk to you soon.